A new $3 billion government plan could make food cheaper for Canadians. On Thursday, Carney said the federal government is rolling out its first ever national food security strategy, a 10-year plan backed by a $3 billion investment. The goal is to break open the market for independent retailers, boost food production in Canada, and build a more self-sufficient and affordable food system. And according to a report by Dalhousie Agri-Food Analytics Lab, food prices will go up by 4 to 6% in 2026, with an average family of 4 spending up to $17,571 next year in groceries, a nearly $1,000 increase compared to 2025.
You know, it's hysterical, the MAGA response to Canadians boycotting American products and canceling their trips to the United States. Well, we're not going to buy Canadian products. Honey, that's going to be hard because you can't even identify Canada on a map, let alone Canadian-made products. So good luck with that.
Mexican man fired.
Okay, she's absolutely cooking right now because the irony is just too good. You got MAGA folks out here screaming about boycotting Canadian products. But let's be real. Most of these people don't even know what products come from Canada. Like, they're going to stop buying maple syrup. They probably think it comes from Vermont. They're going to boycott Canadian bacon. Half of them call it ham anyway. The geographic illiteracy is actually kind of impressive at this point. And that's what makes this whole thing so entertaining to watch unfold.
And permanently banned from World Cup for racist gesture against South Korean influencer. The incident occurred after the South Korean match against the Czech Republic. Many Mexican fans remained in the stadium to watch the game. The South Korean woman was filming when a local man suddenly appeared in her frame. Instead of cheering or walking away as usual, the man placed his finger near his eye, making a gesture widely interpreted as mocking Asians. The woman's expression immediately turned serious. The video quickly went viral, especially since the woman is a well-known influencer in South Korea with approximately 2.3 million followers. Many viewers stated that the man's actions were not only rude but also clearly racially discriminatory. The man was later identified as Ulises Bernal, an engineer and president of the Jalisco State Association of Surveying Engineers. Following strong public condemnation, he was reportedly dismissed. Some locals defended him, claiming it wasn't racial discrimination but just a joke. However, many disagreed, arguing that if a joke carries racial or nationalistic connotations, it is not harmless.
You won't believe the conversation I just had with the MAGA over gasoline here. I'll have to tell you just a minute. I'm in Fort Lauderdale. Let me tell you in a second. Got to get in the car. Can't tell you now. Okay, well, now I'm in the car. I can talk more about my little chat with this MAGA. This guy was probably 35 or 40 years old. He was wearing a MAGA hat, and he was pumping gas at the gas pump beside me. And he looks over at me, and he says, "What do you think about the election?" He said, "We're going to make America great again." And then he goes, "These gas prices," he said, "they are way, way, way too high under Biden. It's all Biden's fault." He says, "You know, Trump is going to cut gas prices in half." I said, "He is." I said, "Well, how is he going to do that? Do you know what plans or what action is Trump going to take to do that?" And he's kind of stuttering and kind of, he doesn't know. I said, "Will these tariffs on Canada and Mexico, where we get 63% of our oil imports, so 25%, will that help lower gas prices?" I said, "What do you think?" And he kind of looked at me like, "What?" And I said, "You know that those tariffs,
Canada's boycott on American goods isn't about Canada disliking Americans. Canada's boycott and ban on American goods is about the Canadian people tired of being disrespected by the political party that..."
This is actually a really important point that people keep missing. Canadians aren't mad at regular Americans walking down the street. They're frustrated with the political decisions being made at the top. And here's what's wild. A lot of Americans feel the exact same way. Like, you got people in both countries feeling like their voices don't matter, feeling like decisions are being made without their input or consent. So maybe instead of fighting each other, we should recognize we're all getting played. The division benefits the people in power, not the regular folks just trying to live their lives.
America's being ran by, which by part, just so we're all clear, even Americans aren't completely agreeing to it. So don't think for a second that Canada is the enemy of the people of America. Just like Americans aren't necessarily the enemy of Canada, the people. It's a political war that a lot of Americans are realizing they have no control over because their voice is not being heard. Canada, please listen to us. Please repost this and follow me for more. Yes, I've been silenced on one page. I'm hoping I can hear you on another. Please, let's all stick together. Canada. Canada's boycott on American goods isn't about Canada disliking Americans. Canada's boycott and ban on American goods is about the Canadian people tired of being disrespected by the political party that America is being ran by, which by part, just so we're all clear, even Americans aren't completely agreeing to it.
Canada, what they've done to our dairy farm workers is a disgrace.
$3 billion worth of U.S. dairy just disappeared, and no one told you why. In the past 48 hours, over $3 billion in American dairy was rejected at the Canadian border, without warning, without explanation. More than 200 containers of cheese and milk were quietly turned away. No press release, no trade alert, just cold, clinical rejection. Under the USMCA agreement, the U.S. is allowed to claim 3.6% of Canada's dairy market. We went just slightly over. Canada struck back with up to 292% tariffs and surgical precision. Now those same dairy products are back on American shelves, repackaged, sold at 50% off. No label says, this product was rejected by a foreign government. Meanwhile, in Wisconsin, farmers are dumping fresh milk into storm drains, crying in the fields with no buyers in sight. The president has said nothing. This isn't just trade policy. It's slow death by bureaucracy. Canada played the system. Washington looked the other way. And now our grocery shelves are filled with silent failures, priced to move before they expire.
So once again,
this dairy situation is actually heartbreaking when you break it down. You got farmers in Wisconsin literally dumping milk into storm drains. These are hardworking people who didn't ask for any of this trade war nonsense. They just wanted to milk their cows and provide for their families. And now $3 billion worth of product got rejected at the border, comes back home, gets slapped with a 50% off sticker like it's clearance rack cheese. Meanwhile, the politicians who created this mess aren't missing any meals. This is what happens when policy decisions are made by people who never face the consequences.
Republicans are triggered by President Obama. He could breathe and they'd be angry. And this time they're upset because he met with Prime Minister Mark Carney of Canada. That's it. Carney said on social media, "Welcome back to Canada, President Obama. Thanks for joining us in Toronto for important conversations on how we build a better future." Normal stuff, right? But for MAGA, they think that something deeper is going on. For example, Laura Loomer said, "Why is Obama meeting with world leaders while Trump is in office? This is a coup." She thinks that Obama meeting with Carney is an attempt to overthrow the United States government. Another popular MAGA account on Twitter said, "He's a former president. This violates the Logan Act." No, it does not. Honestly, I don't know what the F he thinks he's doing. The balls the Democrats have, unbelievable. I actually responded to that tweet by saying, "This you," referencing her back in 2024, celebrating Donald Trump meeting with Netanyahu at Mar-a-Lago. The MAGA Republicans hate Obama because he's better than Donald Trump in every single way, and people actually like him. He's one of the most popular politicians in America, despite leaving the presidency years ago. People still love him.
Almost every Canadian needs a truck or a car, and most people of modest means rely on used vehicles to save some money. Yet the government imposes double, triple, and sometimes even quadruple taxes on the same vehicle. When someone buys a car new, they pay the tax. When it's resold as used, the new buyer pays the tax again. And that's why Conservatives are announcing MP Andrew Lawton's bill to scrap the sales tax on used cars altogether. The principle is that the GST should only apply once at the final sale and never again.
When I travel, I'll be telling people I'm from Canada.
A surge in Canadian pride brought on by a potential looming trade war with the U.S.
I don't like his politics, the way that he's treating Canadian people or Canada.
It's not just a war of words. This travel agent says Canadians are canceling trips to the U.S. in droves.
But this time definitely feels different. This has been a much more tangible reaction from clients who are actually outright canceling trips.
The potential dollar impact of those cancellations is big. According to the U.S. Travel Association, a 10% dip in inbound travel from Canada could translate to $2.1 billion in lost spending and jeopardize 140,000 American jobs.
In most destinations in the U.S., Canada is
$2.1 billion in lost spending and 140,000 jobs at risk. And this is just from a 10% dip in Canadian tourism. Like, we're not even talking about a complete boycott yet. Places like Vegas, Orlando, Phoenix, These tourism-heavy cities are going to get crushed, and here's what nobody's thinking about. It's not just hotels and casinos, it's the Uber drivers, the restaurant servers, the souvenir shop workers. These are regular people who depend on that Canadian tourist money. So while politicians play their games, working-class Americans pay the price again.
#1 international market. So looking at places like Las Vegas, Palm Springs, Orlando, Phoenix, a lot of those Sunbelt destinations are going to be hit really hard.
Those in the travel industry say the weak Canadian dollar was already impacting U.S. travel. The economic threats have many Canadians saying anywhere but the U.S.
Canadians are taking a stand in solidarity. They're showing Americans, or rather the U.S. administration, where they're going to spend their tourism dollars.
So far, it's hard to put a figure on how many trips have been canceled. Data from Statistics Canada and the U.S. Bureau of Transportation don't yet reflect the last 2 weeks. But the message in the travel industry is clear.
When I've been speaking to some of our customers, what I'm hearing a lot is trust. The trust has been broken. I think that's just the same word that I keep hearing over and over again. And they're just not feeling safe to travel there right now.
Canadians staying close to home in the face of so much uncertainty.
Okay, while us Americans are here in the United States of America fighting each other, liberals versus Republicans, and etc., Canada, that's right, Canada, the Canadians are coming together to not buy no American product. In fact, they are taking our products off their shelves. And whenever we have an event in Canada, they are all booing our Star Spangled Banner or our national anthem. They're all getting together booing, and we're here still fighting each other. They're coming together because of the tariff that we put on their country, because of the drugs that is coming from over the border.
Okay, this guy's making a really interesting observation about unity. He's saying Canadians are coming together while Americans are still fighting each other. And you know what? He's got a point. Even if I don't agree with everything he's saying, like, Canadians saw a threat and they unified across political lines almost overnight. Meanwhile, in America, we can't even agree on what day of the week it is. Imagine if Americans could put aside their differences for like 5 minutes. The amount of change that could happen would be absolutely insane. But nah, we're too busy arguing about which team is worse, while both teams rob us blind.
The president is refusing to secure. So, if they can come together, we Americans, y'all, think about this. How powerful are we when we come together? Just imagine if we stop buying their products and start booing them at events that they have in America. Matter of fact, we don't even show up at their events. How about some of these Canada artists that is selling all these records over here? How about if we stop buying their albums and records, like Drake and all these other entertainers? How about we show them that we can come together too? How dangerous we really are. They didn't learn from the TikTok incident.
Okay, major breaking news. Donald Trump has just single-handedly crashed the global stock market. So the US market literally just opened after the weekend of it being closed, and in the first few moments, all of the major indexes fell yet again, between 3 and 4%. That brings the S&P's 3-day losses to around 13%. That's the biggest drop since the financial crisis of 2008. China's stock market, well, they suffered their worst single-day crash since 2008 as well. Hong Kong's stock market, they suffered their steepest single-day decline in nearly 3 decades. Taiwan had their biggest one-day drop in their history, flat out. Japan, they had to literally halt trading. Italy is down, Saudi is down, Germany is down, France, the UK, India, Australia, name a country, they are probably down. I mean, Russia, freaking Russia, they didn't even get hit with tariffs, yet they're down as well. And that's just Monday. So Donald Trump, seeing all the panic, all of the, it's a bloodbath out here, he said, do not panic. He said the United States has a chance to do something that should have been done decades ago. Be strong, courageous, and patient, and greatness will be the result. As things develop, and they...
Be strong and courageous while the market literally crashes around you. Japan had to halt trading. Taiwan had their worst day in history. We're talking about a global economic earthquake happening in real time. And the advice is just, be patient and wait for greatness. That's like telling someone their house is on fire, but just trust the process. Real people are watching their retirement accounts evaporate as we speak. Small business owners are seeing their margins disappear overnight. This isn't a drill or a simulation. These are people's actual livelihoods getting destroyed.
Will bloody develop. I'll keep you guys updated.
If you haven't heard already, LCBO has officially started to remove all U.S. products from their shelves and displaying signs that say, for the good of Ontario, for the good of Canada. In response to the U.S. tariffs on Canadian goods, products produced in the U.S. are no longer available until further notice. Many users also reported that they could not get online to the LCBO.com website today because of the fact that they were removing all U.S. products in response to U.S. tariffs on Canadian goods. Let me know in the comments what you think, and I am more than happy to share all of my Canadian products that I absolutely love in place of US.
All of those leaders just across the lake from where I'm standing right now, sitting down in Evian, France right now for a meeting with Middle Eastern leaders, all of those G7 leaders around one table, talking about a lot of things, but of course the Iran deal being top of mind. And at the top of that meeting that we saw earlier today between the president and the leader of Qatar, we really heard from President Trump. The most that we've heard from him since this memorandum of understanding was signed on Sunday. And he was really out there defending his deal, saying, of course, that now it goes to a second stage, which he believes will be easier, saying he thinks the deal can survive even if Israel continues attacking Lebanon. And he also spoke a little bit about the financial relief that's on the table for Iran. Take a listen to some of the president's remarks.
We are not investing any money in Iran, by the way. That rumor got out there yesterday. It was ridiculous. We have the right to go in someday and do, if I want to do something, or if somebody wants to do something, but we are not investing any money. We have no obligation to invest any money in Iran.
Now, guys, senior U.S. officials did tell reporters yesterday that a $300 billion fund to reconstruct Iran is on the table, along with sanctions relief and the potential unfreezing of Iranian funds, but that all of it is tied to Iran's performance. The president, though, differentiating between investing in the country and that $300 billion fund.
Starting today, LCBO, the largest purchaser of alcohol in the world, will begin removing U.S. products from its store shelves. And as the exclusive wholesaler, American brands will no longer be available in LCBO catalog, meaning other retailers, bars, and restaurants in the province will no longer be able to restock U.S. products. This is an enormous hit to the American producers. Every year, the LCBO sells nearly $1 billion worth of U.S. wine, beer, cider, seltzers, and spirits, including more than 3,600 products from 35 states. As of today, every single one of these products is off the shelves.
Nearly $1 billion worth of American alcohol products just gone. The LCBO is literally the largest alcohol purchaser in the entire world, and they just said, nah, we're good. Take your 3,600 products and go home. This isn't some symbolic gesture. This is an economic nuke. Bars and restaurants across Ontario can't even restock American brands anymore. So your Jack Daniels, your Budweiser, your California wines, off the menu. And this is just one province in Canada taking action. Imagine if this spreads nationally, American alcohol producers would be absolutely devastated.
Okay, America, here we are, another Sunday. Another French toast, but my wife seems to be more discerning. You seem to have affected my wife. She's taking her time with the maple syrup.
For the people calling me gluttonous, and I don't understand the hours of labor that go into making maple syrup. First of all, bigger problems in the fucking world right now.
My favorite was...
The internet needs to know we use maple syrup, this is the most we've used it in a year.
So she says.
So when I use it once every 6 months, I feel like I should be able to just enjoy. Also, like, yes, this is pricey syrup, but like,
how do you feel?
It's my money.
How do you feel murdering the trees, drinking the tree blood?
Some people need to calm down. Like, to those people, I wanna be like, what about Gaza? Like I'm like, bro.
Let's see the poor. Let's see what she does today, America. Look at this. Look. Oh. She's very, very cautious with the poor, America.
There.
As soon as I turn this camera off, you know she's gonna dump half the fucking bottle on that.
You don't know what I'm gonna do.
All right, America. Maybe my wife's learned a lesson about maple syrup allowance. The trees.
Y'all have a reserve. Y'all have a legit
The blood of
reserve.
trees. Bye, America.
I feel like the past 24 hours has just been a complete nightmare. 104% on imports coming from China. 104%. And that means my small business that I put everything into is fucking done. I quit my corporate job about a year and a half ago to chase my dreams. I designed and launched a kids fitness brand, and it was going great. I paid fair wages. I built relationships. And then overnight, the cost just more than doubled. My margins were gone. You know, my business doesn't pay for a yacht or a private jet. It pays for our daughter's swim classes. It covers groceries. It helps with babysitters for date nights. This isn't just numbers on a policy sheet. It's real people, real jobs, real families. And now I'm back at square one. So wish me luck.
I've made this video.
Man, this one actually hits different because you can hear her voice breaking. She quit her corporate job to chase her dreams and build something real. She was paying fair wages, building relationships, doing things the right way. And then overnight, 104% tariffs just destroyed everything she built. Her business wasn't funding some extravagant lifestyle. It was paying for her daughter's swim classes and covering groceries. This is what people don't understand about these policy decisions. Behind every percentage point is a real person watching their dreams crumble.
To show you what running a new small business is really like. I am struggling. 1 week I'll do well and then I won't have any sales for a while. I'm so stuck and I don't know what to do. It's really hard. I have all of this stock that isn't moving and have invested so much money. Can you help me? A simple like, follow, or purchase would mean so much to me. I don't want to give up and I will keep trying, but I really need your help right now. This is really disheartening and I know other small business owners feel the same way, so let's help each other out.
This is my little grocery haul. I'm from Eastern Quebec. And I just wanted to see, since I like these videos, what everybody else thinks this is worth. Or what it would be priced where you're from. Take a guess. Let me know in the comments.
So, Canada has proposed targeted tariffs in America. And besides going after, my heart goes out to you, Salute Boy, with 100% tariffs on Tesla, they're going to target MAGA states with their tariffs. You know, like peanut butter from Kentucky, morons from Texas. Anything America has an abundance of that we shoot out into the universe, Canada is going to put a tariff on it if it comes from a red state. And I am here for it.
Okay, so Canada is specifically targeting MAGA states with their tariffs. Peanut butter from Kentucky, products from Texas. They're being surgical about it. And you know what? This is actually smart strategy from their perspective. They're not trying to hurt all Americans. They're targeting the states that voted for this. It's like saying, okay, you wanted this trade war. Here's the consequences. Now, whether you agree with it or not, you got to respect the precision. They're basically saying elections have consequences, and your state chose this path. This is economic warfare with a very specific target audience in mind.
And I can only hope that China and Mexico follow suit with this. Dude, you guys, you did not win a dictatorship with one presidential election. This did not give you universal power to destroy our country. Because guess what? Unless you're planning for a true dictatorship, you better be careful what you wish for, Republicans. Because you better hope we don't get somebody like Bernie Sanders in office in 4 years, where he now would have the power just to shove Medicare for all down your throat, to shove college for all down your throat, to make being a billionaire illegal. A boy can dream.